Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Let's take a look at some new malicious compliance stories.
The first story is called, "Sure, I Will Do That." So, last year I worked for quite possibly the worst corporate retail store. And, at the time, I had the worst manager. It was a really great situation all around. When that manager took over shortly after I had started, she decided that she didn't really like the official scheduling app. It was on our phones. And most of the time, it was auto-generated. It let us request time off and see our time off balances. In fact, it was the only functional application that existed in that company. But she didn't like it. So she refused to use the app. Instead, she had a spreadsheet that she made each week. It was promised to us a week ahead of time. But we generally wouldn't actually get it until the day before that week's round of shifts started. Since she didn't ever use the official scheduling app, time off requests through there generally fell on deaf ears. So, anytime I needed time off, I'd make the request through there in the official channels, and then email her. She was notoriously strict on any time off. The needs of the store outweigh the needs of the poor people working there. Except for her, a third of each month was spent flying out somewhere for her vacation. In this particular instance, I needed time off to go visit my grandma and my cousin in California for my cousin's graduation party. I made sure to ask months in advance, and had my grandma buy the tickets ahead of time so I could use that as an excuse to say I had to have the time off. I email her all this 4 months in advance and annoy her until I get an email confirmation that, yes, I can have a whole 2 days off in addition to my normal 2 days. So finally the time comes. I go down to California. The high school graduation party was great, and I'm on day 3, the day before I leave to go back to Oregon. That's when I get a call from my manager. "Hey, where are you? Is this some kind of trick question?" "No, you're 20 minutes late to your shift." "No, I'm not. I'm not in today." As it turns out, she didn't send out this week's schedule until after I had left the state. I didn't bother to bring my work phone with me to receive her made-up schedule, so I didn't get a chance to correct her before the phone call. "Yes, you are. And if you don't get your butt in here in the next 20 minutes, you're getting a write-up and 2 attendance points. That's going to be kind of hard considering I'm still in California. Do you care to come to pick me up? What are you doing in California?" She's panicking, and I don't blame her. There are 5 employees that work for that store, including her. And generally, in the middle of the week, I was scheduled to close solo. I'm visiting my grandma. Remember, I emailed you about this months ago and you approved it? At this point, she's furious that after a long day of sitting in her office watching Netflix, she may have to close the store. "We're going to need to have a serious talk about this when you get back." There was one good thing about this phone company I worked for. 1. It was unionized. We're supposed to get our schedules 3 weeks in advance via the app. She shouldn't be trying this, because it's the same reason she's not trying to railroad the openers into staying for my shift, because they're both incredibly trigger happy with the union. "Okay, we can have a talk about it. But I'm going to have to make a quick call to my union representative so he can be there." "What?" "Because you allowed me the time off per your emails." "Well, you have to follow the schedule. The one we receive last minute through unofficial channels? Because I take screenshots of when you send those and what dates they cover. I'm not sure the union would appreciate it. Enjoy your days off." And she hung up. The next story is called, "She Has a Problem with My Clothes." Yesterday, I was at the gym with my friend. I have had minor problems with people there before, but nothing as ridiculous as this. I had been training with my friend since 6 in the morning, so the gym was pretty empty. At about 7 a woman comes in. There were only 2 other people in the gym at the time, the manager and some other person working out in a different section. The woman checks in and heads down the stairs. She passes by my friend and me, who were working out on one of their punching bags. She stops for a second to look at me. At the time, I assumed it was because of my kicking skills. But this was not the case. A minute or so later she comes back. "You can't wear that in here." I was wearing normal workout clothes, waist-high sweatpants and a muscle shirt that was a bit short, but because my pants were high it wasn't revealing anything. I was confused and asked, "Sorry, you should be sorry. You shouldn't wear clothes like that in public. This is a place of God and you are disgracing it. The gym was connected to a church. I bet you are not even here to work out. You are just here to show off to your boyfriend." She pointed to my friend who was trying not to laugh. "You need to change, your shirt is too short. Those clothes are not allowed in here." She tried to continue, but I had an idea, so I cut her off. "So you have a problem with my shirt?" "Yes." "Okay." I start to take off my shirt. I was wearing a sports bra underneath that covered everything and you could only see an inch of skin due to the high-waisted pants. I had worn just a sports bra in here before, so I knew it wouldn't be a problem. But the woman starts to shriek, "Put your shirt back on right now. I am going to talk to the owner and get you kicked out." Great. She storms back up the stairs to the desk where the manager is. I knew I wouldn't be in trouble since I know the manager and he knows me pretty well since I also teach martial arts classes at the gym. I look at my friend like what just happened and he finally just bursts out laughing, so I throw my shirt at him. Karen starts talking to him but I can't hear what she is saying. I grab my water bottle and sneak up the stairs and behind her, trying not to be noticed. That girl down there took her shirt off and exposed herself to me. Karen was busy yelling at the manager, so she didn't notice me. So, behind her, I start pointing to myself and mouthing, "I'm the girl, and that's me," to the manager. The manager laughs at me and the Karen yells at him for laughing because this is not a laughing matter. I still don't know how she didn't see me. I didn't want to be caught, so I walk down the hall to the water fountain, fill up my water bottle, and when I get back, the Karen is gone. The manager asks me, "Why do you always have to make my job difficult?" "Because it is fun." "Where did she go?" "She stormed out after I refused to kick you out." "Well, she left, her bag is downstairs." "Do you think I could give it to her when she comes back?" He thinks about it for a second. "No, unfortunately, I have to leave it behind the desk until she claims it." Alright, I run downstairs to grab the bag and give it to him. My friend and I were there for another hour and sadly she didn't come back. But I am still overjoyed that I got to experience a wild Karen. The last story is called, "You Don't Decide When You Clock Out." So, I work a night shift at a burger place that runs pretty well together. We all know our stations well and run smoothly. Unfortunately, we have a staffing problem that means I have to stay late to take orders for drive-through pretty regularly. I personally have no problem with it, more hours means more money. Our shift managers ask me to do it, so they obviously don't mind, and our general manager understands we're short-staffed. Our regional manager, on the other hand, had a big one. The regional came in for the usual checkup he does every month and noticed I was regularly staying an hour or more late. He asked, "Why are you staying so late?" "We're short-staffed at the moment, sir. It's necessary. From now on, you go home on time. The clock decides when you clock out, understood?" I nod like a good corporate drone, and that's that for a while. Fast forward another month. We got a few new hires, but I still have to stay late, and on top of that, I'm training 2 of them. The regional manager comes back and sees that I'm still staying late. He condescendingly said, "How hard is it to understand? You cannot stay late anymore." "Sir, I have to. Our staffing is too thin." "I don't care. It's the general manager's problem. If she can't schedule hours properly, that's on her. If I see you stay late again, your hours will be cut." Now, there's 2 things I disliked about this interaction. 1, he talked down to me and essentially called my manager incompetent. I understand that he's a superior, but I believe a leader should treat their members with respect. 2, he threatened my livelihood. So, I decided to follow his orders. For the next month, I clocked out at exactly when the clock changed and my time was up. During rushes or slow days, I never came in early or late, and the same with my leaving. My time always ended in 2 zeros. I felt bad for my co-workers, but they understood. Come next check-in, he calls in my general manager and asks why our orders take so long. She tells me later that she explained our staffing problem and that no one is around who can confidently cover drive after I'm gone. And since I leave and clock in on the dot, I sometimes leave them in chaos. 2 minutes later, I'm called in and told I can stay late again.